it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have my Yallfest book haul for you, so stay tuned. As you can see here, I got a lot of books while at Yallfest. It was pretty incredible. My friend actually got a few as well, and so this is the majority of what we collected, but not everything. I think in the end we had a total of 33 books between us. But oh my goodness, this stack wants to fall over. So I think I'm going to split these in half just for stacking purposes so they don't topple. Okay, so I'm going to start with the books that are finished copies and then go on to the ARCs from there. So the first one I have is The Strange Fascinations of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold. And I was also fortunate enough to get him to sign it for me while I was there. And it says, "For Melanie, Face the Strong." Ooh, and it's very pink inside. Looks like that. And this is about a boy who goes to a party, and while he's at this party, he gets hypnotized, fun party game, but then afterwards, he starts noticing that everybody in his life has subtle changes about him. Like somebody might have a scar where they didn't have a scar before, and there's just different things, and he's trying to figure out why there's this change and how to make things right, and that's what this is about. Next up is The Graces by Lori Eve. And this says, "Everyone said the Graces were witches. Fair and Grace is larger than life, almost mythical. He's the school Pan, seducing girls without really meaning to. He's biding his time until someone special comes along, someone different, who will make him wonder how he got along all this time without her. Someone like me." Finrin's twin Thalia is a willowy beauty with rippling, honey-colored hair. Wherever she goes, Thalia leaves behind a band of followers who want to emulate her. She casts spells over everyone she encounters, just like Finrin, even if they both deny it. Then there's Summer. She's the youngest Grace, and the only one who admits she's really a witch. Summer is dark on the outside, with jet black hair and kohl-rimmed eyes, and on the inside, it was inevitable that she'd find me, the new girl, a loner with secrets lurking under the surface. I am River. I am not a Grace, but I'll do anything to become one. And I thought it sounded really interesting. And it also sounds like something my friend Clint would really, really love. Okay, next up is Fable Haven, Book of Imagination, Create, Discover, and Explore by Brandon Mull. And this is sort of a activity kind of book, like bake a dessert, draw an imp, navigate the maze, try to turn this page with your mind, just fill in the blank kind of things, and just fun things to do. Coloring pages, all of that. And he signed it for us, which is really cool. I think Xander will really enjoy this. So I didn't include this with the swag haul that I did because I have the book as well, and it kind of goes along with the book. And it's Give the Dark My Love by Beth Revis, and it has exclusive bonus materials. It's almost like a comic type thing that goes along with the book, and I thought that was really neat, and it has like the map and stuff like that. So that was cool. And then I have the book here, and I was standing in another line when I saw her sitting there at a table, I guess getting ready for a signing or something. And I had my friend hold my place, and I just kind of ran up to her and I was like, "Hey, I saw you sitting there and I have your book. Can you sign it for me?" And she did, which was awesome. This says, 17-year-old Nedra Brystein leaves her home in the rural northern territories of Lunar Island to attend the prestigious Ugin Academy, with only one goal in mind: master the trade of medicinal alchemy. A scholarship student matriculating with the children of Lunar Island's wealthiest and most powerful families, Nedra doesn't quite fit in with the other kids at Ugin. Until she meets Gregory, Gray, Aster. Gray is immediately taken by the brilliant and stubborn Nedra, who he notices is especially invested in her studies. And that's for a good reason. A deadly plague has been sweeping through the north, and it's making its way toward the cities. With her family's lives and the lives of all the Lunar Island citizens on the line, Nedra is determined to find a cure for the plague. Gray and Nedra grow close, but as the sickness spreads and the body count rises, Nedra becomes desperate to find a cure. Soon she finds herself diving into alchemy's most dangerous practices, and when she turns to the most forbidden practice of all, necromancy, even Gray might not be able to pull her from the darkness. Interesting. Ooh, on the back here it says, I saw death itself. It was a feral thing, made of smoke and shadow. It was hollow and empty, and hungry. Ooh. Okay, next up is Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. And Adib Khorram is a really funny guy. Like, I've seen him in a couple of panels, and he's really funny. But this is about a boy named Darius who is half Iranian and can speak Klingon better than he can Farsi. And he doesn't really fit in at home, and he goes to Iran, and he just doesn't think he's going to fit in there either. And he's dealing with depression. And then, well, he meets the boy next door, and a friendship forms, and things start to feel not so un-okay. Okay, so those are all of the finished copies I have. Now we start into the arcs. So the first two arcs I have here actually seem to be already out on the market because it says they go on sale in 2017. The first one is Dragon Watch by Brandon Mull. And this is a sequel from Fable Haven. And he did sign it. It says, "Hi Xander." And he signed down here, which is very cool. And Fable Haven is a series about this girl named Kendra and her brother Seth, and they learn that their grandfather is sort of the caretaker for this place called Fable Haven, which is where all of the mystical and magical creatures belong. And when some bad things happen, Kendra and Seth are forced to not only save their family, but Fable Haven and possibly even the world. And this is a middle grade series that I really think Xander will enjoy, and I have the series for him, but it was really neat to get to meet him and to get this signed. Okay, this is another book that says it came out in 2017. This says it came out November 2017, and that's Retribution Rails by Aaron Bowman. And this is the companion to Vengeance Road. And I just pulled up on Goodreads what it says about Vengeance Road, and it says, "Revenge is worth its weight in gold. When her father is murdered for a journal revealing the location of a hidden gold mine, 18-year-old Kate Thompson disguises herself as a boy and takes to the gritty plains looking for answers and justice. What she finds are untrustworthy strangers, endless dust and heat, and a surprising band of allies, among them a young Apache girl and a pair of stubborn brothers who refuse to quit riding in her shadow. But as Kate gets closer to the secrets about her family, a startling truth becomes clear. Some men will stop at nothing to get their hands on gold, and Kate's quest for revenge may prove fatal." And I don't really know if I have an interest in getting Vengeance Road. I'm not sure. So if I don't, this is something that may actually go into a giveaway because this is the second book. Sorry if there was an angle change, but my battery died. Okay, so next up are books that are supposed to come out in January of 2019. And the first one here is the one I'm most excited about. Oh my gosh, I literally screamed and hugged the girl when she told me I won. I was so happy. I got Slayer by Kirsten White, and it's in the whole Buffy the Vampire Slayer world, which is just, I'm a huge Buffy fan. And this was the one arc that I wanted to get while I was there. So I'm so excited that I got it. So it's about a girl named Nina who has grown up in the Watchers Academy. And her dad died protecting Buffy. And now something has happened and Nina has become the final Slayer ever. And I'm so excited about this book. Apparently this is a series. This is just book 1, but I cannot wait to read this. And I plan on reading it this month. Absolutely. Okay, next up in January of 2019 is Unnatural Disasters by Jeff Hirsch. And this says, will the class of 2049 be the last class ever? Lucy and her boyfriend have been planning an epic post-graduation trip for months, despite the unstable world they live in. But when everyone's phones start to ring during prom, Lucy knows something terrible has happened. Something new. Decades of climate change have taken their toll, religious extremism is spreading, refugees have nowhere left to turn, and terrorism is common. But this is worse. Far worse. An unforgettable story about teens finding their way in a world the adults have destroyed. Unnatural Disasters is an untimely, hopeful tale of survival, identity, family, and love. I think it sounds very, very interesting and unfortunately very, very possible to be a reality. Okay, these next 2 books are the same book. I just ended up with 2 of them because my friend also got one. So he said I could use it and put it in a giveaway. These both come out in January, and that is The Field Guide to the North American Teenager. And this is about a black French-Canadian boy named Norris who finds himself stuck in Austin, Texas, and having to go to school there and dealing with jocks and cheerleaders and all the different cliques that he's not really used to. And he finds himself like classifying everybody and putting them into their own little categories, and he's very snarky until he meets Artie, and she is a girl that he can't seem to categorize. And where before he was just biding his time until he could go back to Canada where he belonged, now he's finding himself with friends he didn't expect to have, and people finding their way into his heart. And of course, you know, being a YA, there's gonna be some drama, and he's gonna screw something up and has to fix it and all of that. But this sounded really cute, and I have 2 of them, so one of them I'll have to be putting in a giveaway as soon as I can figure out how I want to do this giveaway. Let me move these stacks around here. Okay, these next books come out in February of 2019. So the first one is Dark of the West by Joanna Hathaway. And this says, a pilot raised in revolution, a princess raised in a palace, a world on the brink of war. Codename Verity meets the winner's curse in this breathtaking tale of court intrigue, vengeance, murder, and love. And one of the blurbs on the back here says, this soaring, gorgeously written, high-stakes adventure stole my breath from the very first page. And that was Margaret Rogerson, which is the author of The Enchantment and Enchantment of Ravens. Okay, next up is a book that I won while I was trying to win Slayer. And that is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell-Petro. And it is a very pretty cover. Love the phoenix. This says, I had a sister once. In a world ruled by fierce warrior queens, a grand empire was built upon the backs of phoenix riders, legendary heroes who soared through the sky on wings of fire, until a war between 2 sisters ripped it all apart. I promised her the throne would not come between us. 16 years later, Veronica is a war orphan who dreams of becoming a phoenix rider from the stories of old. After a shocking betrayal from her controlling sister, Veronica strikes out alone to find the riders, even if that means disguising herself as a boy to join their ranks. But it is a fact of life that one must kill or be killed, rule or be ruled. Just as Veronica finally feels like she belongs, her sister turns up and reveals a tangled web of lies between them that will change everything. And meanwhile, the new empire has learned of the riders' return and intends to destroy them once and for all. Sometimes the title of queen is given, sometimes it must be taken. Crown of Feathers is an epic fantasy about love's incredible power to save or to destroy. Interspersed throughout is the story of Alvakira Ashfire, the last Rider Queen, who would rather see her empire burn than fall into her sister's hands. Okay, this next book also comes out in February of 2019, and this one is a middle grade book, and I got it because I thought it would be something Xander would be interested in, and that is The Owls Have Come to Take Us Away by Ronald L. Smith. And this is about a boy named Simon who is 12 years old, and he's obsessed with aliens, the kind of aliens that abduct people and do experiments on them, and he also thinks that owls remind him of aliens because they have the same kind of alien eyes. And then something happens on a camping trip to make him think that he may have been abducted. And we don't know if it's real or just an overactive imagination of a kid. And I don't know, it just sounded really cute. The next several books all came in March of 2019, and the first one is Voices, The Final Hours of Joan of Arc by David Elliott. Every life is its own story, not without a share of glory, and not without a share of grief. I lived like a hero at 17. At 19, I died like a thief. So says Joan of Arc in this remarkable novel, told through a dazzling kaleidoscope of poems in the voices of the people and the objects in Joan's life. Voices offers an unforgettable perspective on an extraordinary young woman. Along the way, it explores timely issues such as gender, misogyny, and the peril of speaking truth to power. Before Joan of Arc became a saint, she was a girl inspired. It is that girl we come to know in Voices. Okay, this next book is one that I have 2 copies of as well, so one will go into a giveaway at some point, and that is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. And I love this cover. It's got this foil silver all around it, and it's just like, oh yeah, there you go, so pretty. And it says the strongest magic requires the greatest sacrifice. This says, Princess Orlia is a prisoner to her crown and the heir that nobody wants. Surrounded by spirits and banned from using her blood magic, Orlia must flee her country after a devastating assassination attempt. Her only option for freedom lies with another warden, her betrothed, Prince Valentine. To escape her fate, Orlia disguises herself as a commoner in a new land and discovers a happiness her crown has never allowed. As she forges new bonds and perfects her magic, she begins to fall for a man who is forbidden to rule beside her. But the ghosts that haunt Orlia refuse to abandon her, and she finds herself succumbing to their call as they expose a nefarious plot that only she can defeat. Will she be forced to choose between the weight of the crown and the freedom of her new life? Bloodleaf is a roar of dark and luscious political fantasy that's layered with heady romance, magic, and ghostly intrigue. Through a deliciously creepy story that's told with a rock and roll edge that will haunt you late into the night, Crystal Smith carves a place for herself alongside Maggie Stiefvater and Sarah J. Maas. Okay, these next 2 books again are duplicates, one of which will be in a giveaway, and that is Internment by Samira Ahmed. And this is about a girl named Layla who is 17 years old and is a Muslim American, and her family find themselves forced into an internment camp, and with the help of friends that she makes in the camp, as well as a boyfriend on the outside and an unexpected alliance, she begins a journey to fight for their freedom and start a revolution. And that also comes out in March of 2019. Okay, next up is When the Sky Fell on Splendor by Emily Henry. And this says, the Serpent King meets Stranger Things in this lush, page-turning novel from Emily Henry, author of The Love That Split the World and A Million Junes. Almost everyone in the small town of Splendor, Ohio, was affected when the local steel mill exploded. If you weren't a casualty of the accident yourself, chances are a loved one was. That's the case for 17-year-old Franny, who 5 years after the explosion still has to stand by and do nothing as her brother lies in a coma. In the wake of the tragedy, Franny found solace in a group of friends whose experiences mirrored her own. The group calls themselves The Ordinary, and they spend their free time investigating local ghost stories and legends, filming their exploits for their small following of YouTube fans. It's silly, it's fun, and it keeps them from dwelling on the sadness that surrounds them. Until one evening, when the strange and dangerous thing they film isn't fiction. It's a bright light, something massive hurtling toward them from the sky, and when it crashes and the teens go to investigate, everything changes. Okay, these next few books are coming out in April of 2019. And the first one is Every Moment After by Joseph Moldover. And this follows two boys, Cole Hewitt and Matt Simpson, 11 years after a school shooting devastated their first grade class. Now they are graduating from high school, and Cole was the kid that was on all of the posters. Whenever anybody thought about this shooting, they saw Cole. Even though Cole doesn't really remember anything at all about this shooting because it happened when he was a first grader. And then Matt is forever preoccupied with everything involving the shooting because he can't get past the fact that he was homesick that day and can't really get over the guilt of not being there. And this is about them kind of confronting the burden of their past and what it means to be alive as they step into the future. Okay, next up is This Book Is Not Yet Rated, a novel by Peter Bogani. And this says, for readers of Mosquitoland and High Fidelity, a coming-of-age story about the places that define us and the lessons learned in loving and letting go. Movies have always helped Ethan Ashby make sense of the world. So when developers swoop in and say the classic Green Street cinema is going to be destroyed to make room for luxury condos, Ethan knows this is a battle worth fighting. And so the motley crew of employees of the cinema, Sweet Lou, the elderly organist with a penchant for not-so-sweet language, Anjo, the too-cool projectionist, Griffin and Lucas, who work concessions, if they work at all, and Ethan, their manager, who can barely manage his own life, come together to save the place they love. But it's going to take a movie miracle if the Green Street is going to have a happy ending. And when Raina Allen, Ethan's oldest friend and possible soulmate, comes back to town after working in Hollywood, it seems that miracle may have been delivered. But life and love aren't always in the movies. This Book Is Not Yet Rated is a heartwarming revelation of the many places that love lies, from the people who raise us to the lovers who leave us, and maybe even the heroic rodents who were once our mortal enemies. And it sounds cute. And next up is The Giver, the graphic novel adaptation of the Newbery Medal winner, adapted and illustrated by P. Craig Russell, and originally The Giver is by Lois Lowry. And The Giver is about this world where society has been medicated to the point where they experience no emotions, they see no colors, they don't fight about anything, they are told which jobs they're going to have, they're told who they're going to be with, they're told who's going to be a parent and who's not, and all of these things. And then one person is given the job as the giver. The giver holds the truths of everything of their past and how they were led to this point, and can see all the colors and feel all the feelings. And Jonas has just been given that job, and he has to meet with the giver and be past these lessons. And it's a great book, it's a great movie, and now I think it's going to be a great graphic novel. And it looks like it's going to go along the same lines where everything's in black and white in the beginning, and probably as you go, colors start to be introduced. and I can't wait to read this. Okay, these next two books come out in May of 2019. And the first one here is a middle grade book, and that is Spark by Sarah Beth Durst. And this says, the smallest flame can ignite a fire that changes the world. Storm beasts and their guardians create perfect weather every day, and Mina longs for a storm beast of her own. But when the shy, gentle girl bonds with a lightning beast, a creature of fire and chaos, everyone's certain it's a mistake. Everyone but Mina and the beast himself picks it. Quickly enrolled in lightning school, Mina struggles to master a guardian's skills, and she discovers that the idyllic weather comes at a devastating cost, a cost powerful people wish to hide. Mina's never been the type to speak out, but someone has to tell the truth, and with Pixic's help, she resolves to find a way to be heard. And it sounds cute. I think Xander will really enjoy it. And how cute is that? Okay. Okay, next up is We Contain Multitudes by Sarah Henstra. And this is about two boys named Jonathan and Adam. And Jonathan's like a Walt Whitman fan. Adam is a football player. And they're paired together in an English class to write weekly letters to each other as a pen pal assignment. And as they continue with writing these letters, they form a friendship, and later it turns into a romance. They fall in love. But of course there are problems because of homophobia and bullying and familial strife, and they struggle to hold on to their relationship and each other. And this gives me like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda kind of vibes. On the back here it says, Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe meets I'll Give You the Sun, in an exhilarating and emotional novel about the growing relationship between two teen boys told through the letters written to each other. And I think this is going to be a really, really good book. Okay, this next book comes out in June of 2019, and this is a middle grade book, but it is one that I think Xander and I will both thoroughly enjoy because it's a fairy tale retelling kind of thing where you mash up a few different fairy tales, and I always love those. This is Briar and Rose and Jack by Catherine Coville. And this says, an evil giant, a secret curse, three brave friends determined to save their kingdom. Lady Briar is scorned for her appearance. Princess Rose is adored for her looks. Unbeknownst to them, one or both may bear a curse that only true love can break. But the girls have little time for curses anyway. Along with their friend Jack, they are busy plotting the downfall of the evil giant who plagues their kingdom. But how can children succeed when the adults are afraid to even try? And what if the curse manifests? Whose love could be true enough to save the day? Sumptuous storytelling combines Sleeping Beauty with Jack and the Beanstalk in a magical exploration of prejudice, justice, and the meaning of true love. And I thought this sounded super, super cute. Okay, and then the last book that I have here comes out in July of 2019, and it is also a middle grade, or maybe even earlier, but I still thought it would be something that Xander would enjoy. This is a graphic novel. It is Mystery Club, 2 mysteries in 1 book, Wild Werewolves and Mummy Mischief. And it says the final book will be in color. But it is a graphic novel, and these kids are, you know, solving these little mysteries and stuff, and they're like, kind of like a kid's Scooby Gang is kind of the vibe that I got from this. And it sounds really cute. It looks like it's really cute. And I think Xander will like it. So I came home with 27 books from Yallfest, which is pretty freaking awesome. I'm glad I had lots of extra room in my suitcases. But I would love to hear if you're interested in reading any of these books, and if so, which one. So comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you.